How's it going, everyone? This is Sonicrules 831. We are back with our 4th episode of the Weekly Diecast. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Let's just go ahead and get started. So today I'm going to start off by saying that I'm going to show off 1/24 scale diecasts. That means they are the bigger cars. I have a few of these, and I thought, for this episode, why not showcase them? So they're both going to be from the year 2016. So here's the first car. I actually got this at Kentucky Speedway when I was there. I got it on the Saturday of the Quaker State 400. This was being sold in the Fanatics section of the area where all the merch haulers are and everything. This is Greg Biffle's 2016 Darlington Throwback that he drove. And this was also a great return for Hooters and a way to, of course, celebrate one of the biggest underdogs in NASCAR history, Alan Kulwicki. That's what the paint scheme was based off of. As you can see, the 16 is pretty much colored the same way Kulwicki's number 7 was. The paint scheme is very similar, as well as the old Hooters logo, in which Hooters did change their logo not too long after. I believe last year they did. As you can tell, there's a spoiler on the back, much bigger compared to 2017 and 2018. On the front, you can see that instead of it saying Fusion, it says Underbird. And the reason for that is because that was Kulwicki's nickname, because back then Ford drove the Thunderbirds when Kulwicki won the 1992 championship. Once again, I thought that was a really cool tribute to him, and obviously, as you can tell, the Sprint Cup logo is on there when it was still called the Sprint Cup, before it was called Monster Energy. I love the throwback decals on the side too, the contingencies you see there. Overall, I really love the car. I looked at it, it was $49.99. I said, you know what, I got money, I have to buy it, it's a moral imperative. So I bought it, and I'm glad I have it. So I'm going to give this car a 10 out of 10. Once again, great paint scheme, and it's great to have Hooters back on a car. And of course, Hooters is now sponsoring Chase Elliott for a few races this season. Keeping with our 1/24 scale diecast theme, as well as sticking with the year 2016, this is Kevin Harvick's Busch Light Chevrolet. This was, I believe, the first year that the Anheuser-Busch decided to switch the sponsorship from Budweiser to Busch, which was a sponsor in NASCAR for many, many years. And as my dad was born and raised in St. Louis, he has pretty much a lot of his family in St. Louis. Of course, Anheuser-Busch, that has Busch Beer, and Budweiser are all based in St. Louis. So my dad pretty much became a Harvick fan. He's actually been collecting the Busch cars that he's driven. But last year at the Quaker State 400, he bought me this car. Because we were having a fun weekend together, and he decided, hey, obviously with my good grades and all, he decided to get me this, and I'm very appreciative. I want to thank my dad very much for getting me this car. And if you can't tell, this car was autographed by Harvick. I did not meet him. It was just one of those it was autographed when it was sold. So overall, this paint scheme's really nice. I love the Busch lettering on here. I love the way the paint scheme looks. I love the mountainous feel, like the mountains you can tell on the sides. The Busch Light logo I just really like overall. Of course, on the front it says, great taste in an easy drinking light beer. I will let you all know now, I am not a huge beer drinker. I don't really drink a whole lot. I am, because I turned 21 back December of last year in 2017. But I haven't really drank much, only on maybe like one beer on a special occasion. But I just figured I could troll myself, and still though, I will support any brand in NASCAR as much as possible, if I can support it anyway. So yeah, it's of course, Anheuser-Busch has invested more money into NASCAR as well. They now sponsor the Busch Pole Award, which is great. I'm glad they brought that back. So overall, I'm going to give this car a 9 out of 10. Love the paint scheme. I love the look of it. And my dad and I both agree that Busch is more of a connection to NASCAR than Budweiser. Don't get me wrong, I like Budweiser and NASCAR too. It'd be great if, heck, even both could sponsor a car for Stuart Haas or something like that. But so overall, love the car. And that'll do it for this episode. So I really hope you enjoyed the cars that I showed today. Greg Biffle's car and Kevin Harvick's car that they both drove at some point in the 2016 NASCAR Sprint Cup season. So thank you all so much for watching. A lot of things are happening for me. I'm actually moving apartments and everything else. School's starting up again, but I promise I have a lot of diecasts, and I just want to show the world to them, and showcase all these cars. When they were driven, what year, what was the story behind them. So that's what I want to do, is I want to tell a story with every car that I show. But anyhow, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all whenever the next video is. Before I end this video, actually, real quick, I had a lot of fun at BronyCon 2018, and of course, I am fully aware that BronyCon 2019 is not just a 4-day event, but it's also going to be the final BronyCon, which I'm saddened by it, but hey, I understand. I understand the attendance numbers have been dwindling. I know the Brony fandom has kind of died down a bit, but I will say one thing quickly. Please go to BronyCon next year. I will be there, and I want to help send this convention off with a bang. And, I want it to be something that I can remember for the rest of my life. As, yeah, I went to BronyCon in 2019, the last one, and it was so much fun. The fandom's not going to die. No way this fandom's going to die. Once you're a Brony, you're always a Brony, even if you leave. You think of the fun times, and you think of the memories, the fun memories you have. It's like when you lose a loved one. It's like that. So, yeah, I will be at BronyCon next year, and I hope to see you guys there. See you in the next video.